Can you understand? And a private session is very different than this. Yeah, we go deeper, we go more. You get a whole hour with your loved ones. It's very different. This is like just tapping your toe in and letting you know that they're around so you can understand how it works. So in private readings, gosh, there's so much that comes in. But to answer your question, was there anything that I felt today that impacted me? Yes, of course. Her husband, her son, all of them. Because didn't everybody get something special in a message today? Didn't you get something? Your dad, who came in, and he could have talked about a lot of things, but he talked about what was in your heart, what was hurting in your heart all these years. And that's what he wanted to heal. And that's why he came up with that message, and not other stuff. That's a private reading. But he says, I got 5 minutes. What am I going to do? I want to heal my daughters. Do you understand? That's how they work. So they're going to maximize the time that we have together in the minutes that we have, and they want to get a lot of readings in too, right? So there's more healing. Yeah? Does that make sense? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
She has a question too.
Okay.
So when you talk to Spirit, or when Spirit talks to you,
Yes.
do you hear an audible voice, or is it an all-knowing?
Yes.
Is it like just like in
Yes.
you hear like that all-knowing that somebody else's?
Almost everything tonight I got claircognizance.
Okay.
Most everything I received, which is the highest form of receiving, because it's a knowing. I just know. I just know to say it. So I'm very clairvoyant because I was a photographer for 24 years. So Spirit World will work with images really well. Your husband gave me the yard to get me started. So I saw the image. I mean, I could be in people's homes. I could be in their kitchen. I could see the kitchen. I mean, I'm very clairvoyant. Because I was a photographer, so Spirit World's going to use my database and how I understand things and how I make sense. I can make a lot of detail out of a picture. So they'll work with pictures a lot. But claircognizance is a hard thing to have. And pretty much this whole night was claircognizance.
And just one other
Which
thing.
is a knowing. I just know to say it.
With the images that you're getting, are you getting flashes where you can actually see the visual just like a picture, like that you would actually print out?
Yeah, so a clairvoyant image sometimes can be very, very, very sharp. When clairvoyance first opens, it's a little foggy. It's a little black and white. It's a little foggy. But and then as clairvoyance gains speed, it gets clearer and sharper, and you'll get moving pictures. And yeah. So. But even sometimes it's still kind of black and white and kind of hazy. So sometimes I'll look like, if you might see my mom, I'll do like that, like I want to make sure I got that right? Mm-hmm. So, but the pictures are a way for them to unfold. When your loved one, one of your loved ones gives me an image, they give me a picture. So it's like, I got to open it up because the information's in the picture. So I have to look at the picture. I have to go into the picture, and that's what the story is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not just receiving the picture. That's easy. It's knowing what to do with it. It's unfolding it, going deeper into it, understanding. Yeah? So clairvoyance is just a way to kind of get my attention. I had this one guy that came in, and he was a husband, and he gave me a gigantic waterfall, like crazy big, and it was like Niagara Falls, like huge. And it was to get my attention. So sometimes, and it had meaning to it, but sometimes it'll be really big, powerful kind of things like that. Sometimes it's little things, which is like, I had a guy in Boston, I was in Massachusetts the other day, and working, and the husband gave me a wallet. And I looked at the wallet, I'm like, oh my God, it's like a mess. And I had papers everywhere. And then I just knew that wallet he was really bad with his finances, and he was not very organized. He was like mixed up professor, and I knew he was an engineer, and I knew he was like, all just came from that picture. So I opened it up, and then all that information came. Does that make sense? So you open up the wallet, and then I found he's an engineer, and yes, he's an engineer. Do you understand your husband? Yes, it's my husband. Do you want to? He's disorganized. Yeah, mixed up professor. Yeah, papers everywhere. What a disaster. You thought about it all the time. Yes, I just knew to say it, but I opened up the picture first. Yeah. And in demonstrations, we have to go quicker, so I can't go so deep. So I try to get to where they want to go fastest, so I can get to more people. In a private reading, we'll get more people and more deeper and all that kind of stuff. As some of you who have had readings with me will know, and I'm passionate about that. But I can't do that the same in a demo. Yeah, but it's fun because you get to watch other people, right? Do you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a question? You have a question.
I just wanted to know in what you were saying about the pictures.
Yeah.
So if you don't speak the language of
the
Yeah.
person's loved one, then you would just get them.
Yeah, well, that's when claircognizance really comes in really handy, that just knowing. Like, I had a man that lived in Iran, and he came in and I brought through his, a man came to me for a session, and I didn't know who I was going to connect with. It was his dad, and I said, I have a man coming in, I know he's in real estate, I know he has buildings, and would you understand this to be your father? And he says, yes. And I said, I feel he lived overseas. Yeah. So he lived another country, didn't even speak the language. But he started talking about, but I just knew what he was saying, because he's talking about walking on the sea, and you guys always held hands together, and your visits were short but meaningful, and like all this kind of stuff came out of it, but he didn't speak the language.
Right, that was just
yeah, so it doesn't, it's you know, it's a communication of love, it's a communication of symbols, it's a communication of feelings. We know if we smell a rose, we know what that smells like. We just know. That's how it is. It's like, I just know he loved his VR. I just know he was crazy about it. I just know that. Or I just know, you know, he was in the military and I know it was a long time. I just know that because he gives it to me in a way. Just like if you close your eyes and smell the flower, you just know it's a rose.
So if we smell something in the room and you know that that smell's not going to be in my room, like cigarette. For instance, if you smell like a perfume or cigarette or something,
that's a spirit.
That's them. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a spirit. Say hi.
Okay.
Yeah, say hi. Listen, people always say something. Monica, how was that with mediumship? Are you scared? I'm like, what? Are you afraid like of bad spirits? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah. I said, this is the people you know. These are people that you like, and they like you. You love, they love you. No, it's an energy of love. Yeah? So, yeah, does that make sense? So if you feel listen, if they're in your house, 99.9% is because they love you. Say hello. And if that fragrance feels familiar, yeah, but it smells like your mom's
in the house,
perfume.
it's just my daughter and I.
Yeah, so start asking who used to smoke a lot. Know who's coming in.
It's like a twofold question. First would be, you could read for all of us if you would read.
Yeah.
You can?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I will know my dad is with me. I will know, I will clairvoyantly see him. I will just see him right here. And I feel him. But no. No. You have the same problem? Okay. So, yeah, see, so I can't really read myself like that. Yeah. But I have a knowing that they're around me. So that I know. But as far as like what I did for you, not really. I know. There is business cards all over the room. Yeah.
Is that because you already know that, you're too familiar with it to know that if it's coming through? Or
Yeah, you know, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't. I'm not the only one. I mean, I think there's a reason. I think that, you know what, like I always say, like my kids lost their father, and I've never given them a reading. He's come to me many times, but I've never given them a reading, because if I did, I know that they would say, you knew that about him. But you would, and then they would not get the healing that I know that they needed. So they're going to be better to go to somebody else that do not know their father. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Because if I did it, I would ruin that healing opportunity for them. I got to get them to someone good, but I wouldn't be the right one for them, because they would think, it's not that I wouldn't get a good reading from them, but they would maybe not. You just know that. Yes, I started seeing spirit when I was 6 years old. My grandmother, on my dad's side, I didn't find out until my dad passed away. I went to Europe to tell his family, and I never met my grandmother, but she comes in all the time. I'm constant. My grandmother is like, she's always helping me. I mean, she's always helping me. I love her to pieces. We're buddies. I never met her. But you know, that's the thing. It's like, a lot of people say, like, I don't know who I read today where I said, you know, you have children that they want you to know that they know the children. Was that this room or was that Boston? Was it here? Okay, yeah. Yeah, and they want you to know that they're around. You know what I mean? And,
You think your grandma's your spirit guide?
oh, no. Oh, no. Your loved ones are not your spirit guides. I have a team. When you read my book, I have a whole collective group that works with me. But also, you know, it's what I do. So I'm going to have maybe more. But we all have probably 3, at least. I'm teaching a workshop on spirit guides. If you guys are interested, the flyers on your chairs. The flyers on your chairs, and also a workshop on my book. And that whole workshop is based on my spirit guides. They created that whole thing for everybody. Listen, guys, you know, sometimes when we lose somebody, we're grieving. And sometimes in the process of grief, we grieve ourselves as well because we lose ourselves in the process. And they wanted to create a way to get you back to yourself so you can move forward. Not that this book is about grief, because it's not. It's about yourself. And it's about bringing you back to yourself. And it's about showing you easy, practical ways to get you closer to yourself again so you can feel that joy and know yourself and live your potential. And sometimes when we grieve, we get a little numb and we lose ourselves along the way. And that workshop is going to be a wonderful way to just kind of rebuild yourself a little bit. And get you a little bit closer. But that book was completely, it was written in 19 days. Every day I sat for 40 minutes and and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, that's a chapter. And every day they said, sit with us 40 days, 40 minutes every day, and we're going to write the book. And I knew how it started, and I knew when it was going to end. But that wasn't my material, it was theirs. But they love you so much. So my guides, I had to understand, I had to be okay with sharing them. Because it's been a private journey I had with my guides to get to know them. But then when I realized that they wanted to help others as well, I had to be okay with sharing them. And when I see the transformation, I'm willing. Because they can love me and you, right? So anyway, that Spirit Guide Workshop is about you finding your guides. But they're not your loved ones. Your guides are not your loved ones. Your guides, your loved ones can support you in your life, and they'll be near you in your life, but they're not your guides.
How old were you when you first started acting and you realized that this is the result that when you really started working as a medium?
Late.
Yeah. And
Late.
then how did you develop that?
Yeah, they developed it. So I saw spirits since I was 6, but then I was really just psychic. I just kind of knew stuff for a long time. And I was just kind of, people, my friends always go, oh, there's Mom, she's so psychic. Oh, she knows that again. You know, I was just kind of how I was. But then I had a business. I was a photographer for 24 years, so I ran this very big business, and I was very happy doing it. And I did it for a long time, and then I started getting injuries. Like, injuries started coming. And at the same time, all these injuries were happening to me, like debilitating injuries. Spirit would show up. I would feel like energy around me. I'd lay down on the couch, you know, at 2 in the morning, like, oh, I'm gonna go sleep. And I'd lay down on the couch at 2 in the morning, like, and then somebody would sit on the couch right next to me, and the cushion would move. I'd go into the bathroom, they'd be like, hello. I would feel people around me. I mean, like, this was like happening all the time. So then I just still didn't make much of it, and that was my problem. I was like, oh, well, this is what happens. I didn't put it together. And then my studio burned down, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess same time Spirit's coming in, get it? Spirit's coming in, my studio burns down. No, 6 weeks, 2 weeks, my studio's back up. I'm back to work. All right, happened again. Somebody comes in, buys my studio. Okay, sell it, start it again. Somebody knocks on my door. I build a studio in my house. Somebody knocks on my door. I have somebody that wants to buy your house. It's not for sale. Oh no, but can we please show your house? Okay. Bought my house, 20 days, I'm out. My studio's gone because I just sold my house. All right? So then I opened up another one in Westlake. Then all of a sudden, neck pain, back pain, arm pain, and then debilitating back pain where I couldn't even walk. I'm like this, right? So this is interesting, right? So when you don't listen to your calling, it gets stronger. When you don't listen, it gets, so listen. So I teach, pick up the breadcrumbs. That's what I always teach. Pick up those breadcrumbs that your guides are giving you. Because if you don't, they're going to keep throwing them on you, but they're going to get a little more frisky, a little intense about it. So, and that's just what happened. So I just got so debilitated, so much pain, I just said, that's it, I'm going to take a break. I started meditating, and within 3 weeks, I started getting downloads already, like downloads of information was coming to me as I was meditating. And I would get things like, you know, listen to Calvin Harris and think of me.
Do you think it's because of, like, even like how we have the same personality kind of, because that was the same for me. When I started calming and meditating after those things I talked to you about things, then it's when everything started coming. So
Yeah,
you probably
have
had
to.
it forever, but you never really
I
paid
was-
attention because you were so hyper.
I was so busy. I had 56 stores. I traveled 15 states. So I was busy. I was raising kids. I was busy. And I liked what I was doing. I wasn't looking for anything else, right? But I look back at that journey, And that journey was a training ground for mediumship. So to answer your question, when did I become a medium? 2016.